Chancellor of Noida International University.
Ma'am, all set. Shall we
All
start?
set. All set.
Preeti ma'am, proceed.
Am I audible, sir?
Perfect, ma'am.
Yes, sir. A very good morning and a warm welcome to the management of Surendra Institute of Engineering and Management, Chairman Sir, Mr. Sharad Agarwal, Director Ma'am, Mrs. Snigdha Agarwal, Principal Sir, Dr. S. Nagarajan, our chief guest for the day, Dr. Puja Dewan, the HODs of different department, the faculty members and the staff of the admin, and my dear students. I welcome you all to the third day of the online induction program. I would now like to request Mr. Ritam Datta, HOD of ECE, to deliver his welcome address.
Thank you, Ms. Preeti, for this welcome address. I, on behalf of the entire technical and non-technical fraternity of Surendra Institute of Engineering and Management, today I welcome all the members, all my beloved students of first year as well as the second year of different disciplines which were running at Surendra Institute of Engineering and Management, Siliguri. See, students, today is going to be a much more attractive and a much more important topic based on which many things are being decided. The things is that every now and then we are talking about on bookish knowledges. We are talking about day-to-day our class schedules as well as the practical classes, how to deal with that, how to improvise that, how to implement in your day-to-day technical life. But apart from that, there is one more important factor which plays with our life day to day in daily basis, but we do not have the time to feel it. And maybe for that only, ma'am has already raised, our chief guest has already raised that thing because she is the master on it, that maybe we look old, but the age is not that. Only because of that stress which is there, which is playing with our day-to-day life, and that plays a major role in your academics also. So students, without doing any further delay, I welcome all the I welcome our principal sir of SIM college and all the respected HODs, all faculty members of this institute, and my beloved students, parents. Welcome to this online induction program on the third day on stress management. So I hope that this event is going to be a very good and it will impact much more to it apart from your academics. So with this note, I would like to hand over my platform to Ms. Gayatri to take it forward and welcome our honorable chief guest, Dr. Puja Dewan, to start the proceedings. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ritam sir. Good morning to our respected principal sir, Dr. S. Nagarajan. A very good morning to our chief guest of honor, Dr. Puja Dewan, and a warm welcome to all my faculty members from each department, my admin staffs, as well as my fresher students. Today, I'm here to give you a brief introduction about our chief guest. She is a gynecologist specializing in infertility test tube baby treatment and laparoscoopic keyhole surgery. She is a renowned singer and a musician, trained in classical music and armed with multiple medical degrees. She collaborates both the worlds, an active practitioner having more than 20 years of experiences. She is in deep know-how of the current worldwide medical crisis and a psychological impact beside the physical impact of the disease. She has worked as lead gynecologist at Indraprastha, Apollo Hospital and Max Healthcare at Delhi and with Nova IVF and Kokilaben, Dhirubhai Ambani Hospital in Mumbai. Music is medicine to her mind. She deals with a lots of patients affected by stress and help in coping up strategies through counseling, meditation, and music therapy. The corona pandemic nationwide lockdown has inspired her along with lots of musical fraternity to voice herself and the concern of Indian citizens through their heartfelt songs specially themed on the restriction, experience, limitation, woos, and do and don'ts in the current themes. Themes as the song Marathon, it has been aired on Akashvani All India Radio. She has been bestowed with several awards like Best Medical Practitioner, Best Infertility Specialist, Legend of India, Best Researcher Award, Most Trustworthy Gynecologist, etc. in 2019 to 20. She is a fellow of the Royal College of Obstetrician of Gynaecologists at London, UK, and also a PhD in Medicine Science. Her musical journey includes release of soulful devotional spiritual songs, international release of music like Sumirani, under the prestigious label of Time Music. She is Hindustani classical singer armed with a bachelor in music and trained in Drupad Dhamar. And last but not the least, she has also appeared in various TV and radio shows, including Antakshari, and done various performances. And she is none other than Dr. Puja Dewan. A warm welcome to you, ma'am, and a congratulations on your well-deserved success. It's been an honor to all of us to be a part of this thoughtful topic, stress management. Somewhere or the other, we all are dealing with it. So without consuming much time, I would request Pooja ma'am to explain how to deal with this stress. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Gayatri. Thank you for welcoming me to your institute, Surendra Institute of Engineering and Management at Siliguri. This is the second time round that I would be addressing your faculty and students. Of course, the man behind the invite and the connect is your principal, Dr. Nagarajan. The other senior members present also, I thank you for bestowing me this platform. The last time that students I actually addressed you all was at the peak of the corona pandemic, when the clouds were really gray and there was darkness in our minds, and somewhere we were very scared that this corona is going to probably affect mankind in its wrath. And will we be alive? And we've been asked to be self-confined and self-quarantined, and this whole way of living life, as in wearing a mask and continuing to distance ourselves. So on one hand, there was this social distancing. On the other hand was the physical distancing. And on the third hand was the overexposure to technology in solitude and solitary confinement. So today, this is an induction program which is being conducted by your institute online. And amongst the series of sessions, I have the odd session, right? And do I look stressed? Maybe I'm really stressed. I can tell you I didn't sleep the whole night. I've been working round the clock, and here I am with you, fresh. I would like to be complimented as fresh as a daisy because I look fresh, at least on the screen. But then when we look at the stress, and I can see the smiles on the people around, I can see that wide smile coming from Dr. Nagarajan, who has used this lockdown for his personal fitness and youth. And of course, I don't know the other people personally, but I see a lot of bright people like Preeti Thapa introducing me. Thank you so much, Preeti. So coming back to the various people. So students, this is an induction program, and we are being inducted into a course which is this year kind of atypical in terms of its admissions, delays, processes, and for the outgoing students, having a lot of uncertainty of the processes, the examination systems, the curriculums, the exit goals, the interns, the placements, etc. So what is in their hand might actually come to your hand, because considering the fact that we are looking at the pandemic this year to be at least till 2022. So that's nearly 2 years of your course. And if you're doing a 1.5 year program like management, which it must be in some of the institutes, you will wonder, where exactly am I heading? And is the economy really going up or is it going down? So on one end, we are really not scared about corona anymore, but then people are dying. You and I may appear to be young. I don't know, Dr. Nagarajan, how young you and I are. But I'm certain that people like Preeti and Gayatri are younger than us, and the students are even far more younger. Am I correct to understand that? Yeah. So my take home is as simple as this, that corona may not make you die because you are on the advantage side of this particular disease. However, corona can impact your inner being, your mental being, your balance of mind, your harmony. And that will manifest as stress. But first, you have to understand what are the warning signs of stress. So, stress does not mean just being flabbergasted all the time, but you're not having that much concentration in what you're doing, your inability to retain things, your inability to counter the negative, your inability to even express your thoughts sometimes to people, your inability to sleep on time, wake up on time. You say, I'm at home, what do I do? My regime has gone for a toss. So now you got to be exercising like Dr. Nagaraj. You know why? Because exercise is a stress buster. Because there's only one person I know personally here, he is my reference point. But you students, you are young. So you will say, how do I exercise? Do I really sit at home? And do I really work out always at home? I get pumped up and rejuvenated by the presence of real physical presence of people around me. So corona may not make you die, but it may cause you mental illness. For health is defined as physical, mental, social, spiritual well-being in toto. If you have a mental imbalance, it will also affect your learning. It will affect your physical health, as in, as I said, your sleep-wake cycle. Your appetite may increase or decrease. You could be depressed, anxious, stressed, kind of flabbergasted, and you may actually overeat or undereat. Equally, you could be actually engaging in long conversations with people which are argumentative. You may be self-neglecting yourself. You know, it's okay if I'm not wearing that, I'm not that well dressed. It's okay if I'm not really taking care of myself. Do I really have to go out and meet people? It's okay. It kind of piles up. And then there are physical manifestations of the same thing. As in, am I rightly positioned and audible, or anything wrong at my end?
Perfect, ma'am. You can.
Okay.
You can proceed.
So
No, ma'am.
there can be, thank you. There can be physical manifestations of the same thing. You could be having butterflies in your tummy. You're not hungry, but you're having butterflies in your tummy. You're having palpitations in your chest, as in a racy heartbeat. You feel that you are feeling encaged. You may feel claustrophobic. I'm stuck up. You may actually have headaches. You may have frontal headache. You may have a gripping headache. You may actually feel very vague body symptoms of, aches, pains, listlessness, weakness, non-specific symptoms. So then these are the warning symptoms and signs. Now, if you have identified any of these, would we actually look into the cause? So when we look into the cause, mostly we have a blame game or we have a sad game. When we have a blame game, we say it's not my fault. If I have put on weight and I am not looking that fit and I am not fitting into my clothes, or if I'm looking less well kept, then it's not my fault. I don't need to go to work. I don't have platforms to exercise. I don't have a breather. Who cares? I don't care. Who's seeing me? I'm not seeing my own self. Yeah. So we're blaming somebody else. If I'm not scoring well in exams, I like the traditional form of teaching. I can't cope up with this kind of technology. It is just so strenuous, tapping buttons here and there. Believe me, I don't like it. But I'm doing it with my kid. But that's how it is, you can blame your scores on a new adaptation. Third thing that happens is that we have the sad component. I lost my job. I didn't get admission at the right place because this year was a disruptive year when my exit exams happened. I was not aware of this online process of taking admission. I was not aware that this is the process in which I should have written this exam or prepared for this exam. I was not conversant with the methodology. I am depressed because it was never my fault. Or I am depressed because it was my fault and I realized that it is my fault. So contrarian I am talking, am I not? So students here, when you are embarking upon a profession, I only have one thing to say. Whatever is happening to you is happening to the entire world. The boy sitting next to you, if he decided to write an entrance exam for a college, you also did so. And the boy sitting next to you, if he decided to actually take admission in this institute, you also did so. So if you go by the boy next door theory, then whatever is happening to the world next door to you is happening the same to you, right? If there's a lockdown for them, it's for you. If it's an unlock with restriction, it's also for you. So if you have to segregate yourself, don't segregate yourself from the crowd because you're part of the crowd. So the problem when we look at stress, okay, fine, Corona was not there. Let me address another issue. Do we like change? If we have to go and say buy a new fashionable dress, I'm happy to have the change of color and a little change in style. But if suddenly I was to ask you to wear bell-bottom trousers or to wear very tight, cigarette pants, that change may not be welcome for you. Maybe a little style here, a little color change here, a little fabric change here, embellishment is welcome. So we all have to accept change. Question is, how much can you adapt to it? And how fast you can adapt to it, right? So rate of change is what has happened in this era. Very fast. We're always changing. Change is dynamic. This is what is life. But the rate of change has been massive. So a lot of us are not able to adapt to so many changes at the same time. Do we have students here who would like to ask me any questions?
Ma'am, they will post in the chat box. So after your lecture, we will ask you questions. So
okay, as you wish.
Yeah.
So 72 strength we have as of now. Yeah, okay. And how many students are there in the batch this year?
Total 90 students.
And what are the specialities and courses for which they have been inducted in?
We have 5 courses, BTech Civil, BTech Mechanical, BTech CSE, BTech Electronics and Communication, and BTech Electrical Engineering. So we have 5 branches in our college.
Okay. And these are the students being inducted?
Yes, yes.
So honestly speaking, when I was entering my medical school and I entered so many institutions here, there was no induction program. But when I started working in this giant corporate, suddenly one fine day, they introduced an induction program. Induction program meant for us a free day where we would sit, gossip, sleep, and de-stress. So I don't know whether this lecture is going to de-stress you, as in wake you up, or put you to sleep. But then there used to be this long series of days where we used to actually look forward to induction programs, because it would give us a break in the midst of quite a few things. But let me share with you all. So I have explained to you what are the warning signs, warning symptoms. I have explained to you the blame theory, the sad theory. I have equally now explained to you what would be the challenges to the world, and therefore,
Hello.
Dr. Puja.
Master network maybe, sir.
Dr. Puja, you are not audible, and we could not able to see you also.
hello,
Yes.
hello, sorry,
Your video is not on now.
1 second, 1 second. Yep, sorry.
No problem.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, perfect, perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so sorry for the disruption. So as I have explained to you so far, the ways to de-stress are self-help tips. How can you help your own self? So the first way you can help your own self is to identify your thoughts. What is it that I'm thinking? What is it that's troubling me? What can I do about it? What is it that triggers me? In case I have a particular trigger, can I change it? When I change it by a different response, am I reacting to it or am I responding to it? For example, you're entering this institution and maybe you are interacting with some fellow colleague, and the fellow colleague is nagging enough for you and you don't like it, right? And this happens repeatedly because there is a particular lineage you come with, and every time you're subjected to that particular taunt or that nagging, right? You don't like that nagging, so now it's put you off, and slowly you're getting cocooned and you're getting stressed, and you've started disliking even attending or even seeing those people, maybe your fellow mate or even that class. So now you have to identify, what is my problem? Do I not like the class? Do I not like the fellow mate? Do I not like the teacher? Can I do something about it, as in not be with that person, not look at that person, not see eye to eye, evade the person, or simply skip the class, right? Then you figure out, what is my trigger? Is it that I behave in a particular way, that he or she reacts in a particular way? Or is it that I am doing nothing, but it's just the other person who's saying the same thing every day, every day, every day in a particular style, that it's hitting and impacting my brain, that it has become a trigger, right? Now, every time, supposing you are plump, fat, every time you go, they look at you also in a particular way. They even say something to you. Every day, it's the same thing which is happening, right? Or maybe you're clumsy. So every day, the same thing is being pointed out to you, you're plump or you're clumsy. Either they are saying it or they are not saying it. I'm just giving you a very kiddish, childlike example, but it happens in the psyche of people. So now you have a choice. You know that it not just irritates you, it triggers you. It triggers you into a flight or fright response. Either you're scared about something or you're enraged about something. Now, when you're enraged or scared, in both the reactions, there is stress, right? And if there is stress, then how do you change that reaction? It's a spinal reaction now. You know, a Pavlov reflex, if you're science students, you must be knowing. There's this experiment which happens in physiology, and there is this dog and he's given a bone, right? And there is a bell. So what does the scientist do? He gives the bone to the dog, he looks at and he chews it and he salivates. Next time he keeps the bone a little away and he's looking at it, running towards it, he's saliving. Third time he's keeping it very far away, he's still saliving, right? Every time he's giving him to eat, he's ringing a bell. When he's keeping away, he's ringing a bell. When keeping very far away, he's still ringing a bell, right? Now, in scenario 4, there is no bone. There is no food for the dog. There is no smell. It's not kept anywhere, but only the bell rings and he salivates. It's a trained reflex in one way, but it is also a spinal reflex in one way. So now that person who teases you is not there in the class, but you've been teased so much that when you are even thinking about going to that class or to that institution, you're already stressed. Forget about going to the class, meeting the person, and forget about the person even trying to stress you. Isn't it strange? So this is a spinal response in which you have got trained to. Now, this is your trigger and this is your reaction. How can you change it? First, now we are not dogs, right? We are not being given a food. But we know that the moment that person will say something, I don't like it. Now I even know that when the person has this expression, I don't like it. Right? And then comes the situation that the person itself is not there, but I don't like it. So if you have identified the problem and you know that every time this happens, I also react in a particular way. As in, I'll run away, or I'll say something sharp, or I'll cry, or I'll do something. So now you have to choose how not to react, but to respond to it. For example, if someone is to push you, you have two responses, right? If you think it's an act of deliverance, you might actually push the person back. Why did you do that to me? And if you knew that here's an old man next to you, the old man can also push you, right? But the old man next to you has pushed you with deliverance. You know it's because of deliverance. He could have pushed you deliberately. You could have pushed back and hit him, right? The old man did not push you deliberately. Still, you could have pushed him back and given him a tit for tat. Now the old man has actually pushed you deliberately. You also know he has pushed you deliberately. You have chosen to ignore it as an act of non-deliverance. Now, if the same thing was a young boy, the guy who teases you, right? And he has pushed you, you would believe it to be an act of deliverance, right? You will never overlook it. You will never change your reaction. So you have to start thinking that it was not meant for me. It was not done deliberately. Only then will you start responding differently. So if somebody starts teasing you, you choose not to listen to them. And then see, I've given you various examples. What is your change in reaction? So from reaction, you have started responding. And then you note down in that diary, there has to be a stress diary where I had written what was my problem, who gave me the problem, what did I do, how did I react, how I could have changed. And when I changed, did it give me any change in my physical or mental reaction? Or did it make me worse? In case it made me a little better and I keep practicing that, I keep noting down in my diary till I have overcome that situation. Whether I have overcome or whether I've ignored it. Correct? So this is one aspect. The second thing is thought handling. For example, we have been all told to wear masks, right? You see a person on the road. He's not wearing a mask. Now you can have this, you must wear a mask, you should wear a mask, why are you not wearing a mask? This is all about actually correct thoughts, but the way you are thinking, it's a thought with all should, shall, must. You can't change the whole world, can you? Right? So you start doing thought handling. For example, if we were to say, we can always say, see, we are looking at the fourth phase happening and there are so many corona cases happening. Why is all this happening? I'm sure the government, whatever they did is not worth its while. There was such a loss of revenue, economy, opportunity, health to everybody just because of all these lockdowns. If this is what had to happen 6 months, 1 year later also, what's the point? Why did we have this, right? That's one way of looking at it. Thought handling means you say, we should all be wearing masks. Our government and the society and the world has done whatever best they could, right? Wearing a mask is a way of life and it's okay. So what have you done? You've done thought handling. So first you identified the warning signs and symptoms. Second, you wrote a stress diary. Third, you removed the negative thoughts. Fourth, you did thought handling. Fifth, you modified your thoughts. Simple. And for at the end of everything, you need some entertainment, some recreation, something which is your choice. As in, when I say bring positive thoughts, oh, where are you going to bring positive thoughts? This is a textbooks that you're going to read of plus and minus and positive and negative. No, you have to do something which you like. And if you are doing something which you like, it has to bring in positive, adrenalines. And finally, if you want to de-stress, you've got to put in physical exercise. It's not that I'm looking at my morphology in the mirror and I'm getting fatter, so I'm getting de-stressed. I'm getting stressed about it. And that if I exercise, I'll get more in shape. No. Exercise rejuvenates you because it's known to bring in happy hormones. It's known to bring in stress-busting hormones. It pumps in the adrenaline. So I'm very sure that you young people who have been so active, traveling, engaging, conversing, socializing, have actually got kind of entrapped, and therefore the happiness component also comes down a little. So at this point in time, when I'm looking at stress management, I'm also looking at camaraderie and peer happiness, not peer pressure, but peer happiness. So this is the conventional way of self-help management tips. The second way is the way in which you can look at things with a little more mind into it. I'm not asking you to use your brain. I'm asking you to use your mind. Mind means thoughts, right? So I'm talking about mindfulness. Mindfulness means being mindful of things. Whatever you are doing, you are aware of what you're doing. I'm not saying you're unconscious, you're subconscious, you don't know what you're doing. But aware of what you are doing means that if you touch a flower, you actually realize that it's a flower. It looks beautiful. It's a form of nature. On touch, it is so soft. And when I smell, it has a distinct smell. That is called being aware. Means that if I hug my friend, if I wish my friend a hello, I can actually feel on hugging the warmth of the person, and I can hear my own heart beat. I can hear the other person's breathing, and that is what is being mindful. Right? When I shake hands, I can appreciate the warmth and the grip of the person. When I am saying there's a concept of here and now and here, sounds confusing, students. Means, do you really want to attend this induction program, or it's a tick mark exercise for you people? In case it's a tick mark exercise for you people, that means you are now and here. Because it's now and the clock said you have to be here, therefore at 11 you were here. And so is the now for you. But the now and here means I wanted to do this, and therefore I brought my body here. Right? So there's a stark difference between the two when we talk of mindfulness. So basically, mindfulness means realizing that every minute that passes by, every second that goes by is your moment for you to use it the way you want to use it. Let me see if there's been any questions. I see a few of them coming through. Of course, I will attend to it. And then, okay, now let me introduce myself that yes, I am a trained classical musician. I have done my Sangeet Visharad, and I feel that music is like, they say that when you hold a note, whichever note it is, when you hold a note, even if it means sa or it means om, o, u, ma, there are 3 notes in om. It's not om, it is om, a, u, and ma. So even if o, you're holding just that, or o, ma, you have to reach ma. There are 3 notes. Even if you hold any note, any word, any sound, and you just hold that, and you just put a timer if it doesn't please you. It's like saying how long can you hold onto a note, or maybe how long can you just hold on to an om, how long. So you can actually put a timer and see whether it's 7 minutes, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 25 seconds. See, so what happens is the longer you can hold on to a note, any note, the more you have to concentrate. The bigger breath you have to take inside. And you go on, right? You need bigger breath. When you take a bigger breath, they say that when you are angry, you take deep breaths. I'm not talking about anger. I'm saying that in order to de-stress yourself, take in a deep breath and hold on to any note as long as you can. Do that and you will find that you're calmer. And it will be distinctly different. On the other hand, there is so much sound in your environment. I'm right now sitting in a room, and I usually don't like the ticking sound of the watch, the 8-old, analog watch, which is going to tick, 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 tick away. And you can feel that every moment is being passed away. You've lost that moment, On the other hand, every tick you hear can be a gain of a moment. How different this is. So, there are so many sounds in your environment. The sounds of the birds, the sound of the breeze, and it's quieter these days. This is also meditative sound and a stress buster. On the other hand, our own Veds talk about ragas, and in ragas we talk about healing, and healing would mean medicine, and medicine would therefore mean chikitsa, and therefore we have something known as rag chikitsa. So when we talk of music therapy, we are talking about use of music therapy as a stress buster as well. So whether it is an instrumental music or whether it is vocal music, whether it is recorded music or whether it is live music, whether it is music in the sense that the words are also important or whether it is music without words and just sound, all formats are known to be stress busters. And when I talk about rags, then rags have been defined based on the time of the day: morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Pratah, Kal, Dopahar, Sayam Kal, and Ratri. So 4. And each of this is further divided. Each of this, say night, is also divided into 4 parts. Based on all of them, certain ragas have been defined and categorized. And amongst them, of course, we are talking about West Bengal and we are talking about Shanti Niketan, and we cannot not respectfully honor the cultural depth in Bengal with Rabindra Sangeet. And have you realized how melodious that Sangeet is? And have you also, in the same breath, listened to the opera music? The opera music of the Western world basically originated as music of the church. So when you look at the harmony that the church music, even the Christmas carols bring in, the hymns bring in, and you look at their softness and you look at their pronunciation of the words, you will find that it is so similar to the soft, melodious music in the mellifluous voices of the singers of the Rabindra Sangeet. The same music has been incorporated in so many Bollywood movies. Look at Salil Chaudhary. Look at his creations. They have been picked out of that. Look at S.D. Burman. He has picked out music from there. On the other hand, when we talk about Western music, we talk about jazz, isn't it? We talk about the blues. And when we look at this kind of music, a lot of that music is what you and I enjoy as music, which could be actually music to which we dance, to which we sway, to which we swing, and that kind of music comes from a lot of, is seen in a lot of Bollywood movies. For example, so I've been asked to sing up. So here I bring some music into it. So after, yeah, I'm with you.
I'm eagerly waiting.
So let's look at some Bollywood music, right? Let's look at the old era and you will find that these things are similar. You remember this song? Aiye meherban, aiye meherban, देखिए जाने जा, शौक से लीजिए फिर इश्क के इम्तिहान, आइए मेहरबान. This is soft blues, taken and adapted directly, and don't you feel good about it? You feel like swinging to it. Now let's look at another form, which is the same thing in the current form. Nahi, 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 ye baatein hai purani. Kaisi paheli hai ye, kaisi paheli zindagani. थामा हारों का इसको किसने, हाँ ये तो बहता पानी. कैसी पहेली है ये, कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी. पीले से इसमें नशा, इसने पिया वो गम में भी हंसा. पल में हंसाई और पल में रुलाई ये कहानी. कैसी पहेली है ये, कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी. These are all jazz and blues which are blended in our mainstream Bollywood music. And I have given you an era which is 50s and I have given you an era which is 2000s. It's the same music. You just want to relax and listen to it, don't you? Now, on the other hand, let's look at some music which could be contemporary, based on which our national songs have come in, or our songs which are based on some ragas, like the ragas which are meant, like Rag Hamaj is meant to be a stress buster. There are rags which are meant to bring in sleep for the people who are not able to sleep. So let's look at, did we ever wonder why Gandhiji sang a particular song and the nation sang that song with him? Because it stems out from a rag which actually removes anxiety. It's not just the words, but it is that song which the whole nation sang, irrespective whether they understood the lyrics or whether they could pronounce them the right way. But that song was composed in a particular rag. And I'll croon that for you. वैष्णव जन तो तेन रे कहिए जय पीर पराई जाने रे पर दुखे उपकार करे सो पर दुखे उपकार करे सो जन अभिमान ना माने रे वैष्णव जन तो तेरे रे कहिए जे. And even some mainstream songs which are very heart touching also belong to rags which are known to bring in peace. For example, a popular mainstream song and well known for its lyrics as well is हर घड़ी बदल रही है रूप जिंदगी छाँव है कहीं कहीं है धूप जिंदगी हर पल यहाँ जी भर जियो जो है समा कल हो न हो हर घड़ी बदल रही है रूप जिंदगी छाँव है कहीं कहीं है धूप जिंदगी हर पल यहाँ जी भर जियो जो है समा कल हो न हो. And with this, I will end my monologue because this song very clearly says, हर पल बदल रही है रूप जिंदगी. Every moment, our life is changing its face and bringing in new facets. हर पल बदल रही है रूप जिंदगी. हर घड़ी बदल रही है रूप जिंदगी छाँव है कहीं कहीं है धूप जिंदगी हर पल यहाँ every moment here जी भर जियो. Live life to your fullest. You have time either to stress or to live. So there is always light at the end of every tunnel, and be positive. Thank you so much, and I'll be happy to entertain your questions.
Ma'am, one more request. My favorite song, Achutanam from Sumirani.
Achutam. Okay. So to the people that don't know me well enough, so I have been fortunate that I have been singing from my childhood, and I debuted with my album called Sumirani, Sumirani. This is an album released under the label of Times Music, and it had one of the lead songs that was Achyutam Keshavam, and it did fantastically well. To those who have enjoyed my music, maybe I should type it, or maybe Dr. Nagarajan should type it in the chat box. So I have a Facebook handle called Dr.Puja Dewan. That is DR. I'm typing alongside PUJA Dewan. And I also have a YouTube channel, YouTube/same Dr. Puja Dewan. I have typed that, and you could very well, and I have typed the name of the album as well. And I will now sing the song. You should make me sing before. After rattling off so much, I should have a glass of water here, which I don't have. But anyways, I'll sing. So Sumirini is the name of my album. So I have a fan page, which is on Facebook. You can send me request. You have to follow me there. And I have a YouTube channel. And it has lots of things loaded and lots more to be uploaded very soon. So I'll sing this song. कौन कहते हैं भगवान खाते नहीं. I don't know whether people know the song or would you like to sing with me? Yeah? Okay. So the song is कौन कहते हैं भगवान खाते नहीं. कौन कहते हैं भगवान खाते नहीं. पेड़ शबरी के जैसे खिलाते नहीं. अच्युतम केशवम राम. Anybody has a guitar here? I'm more than welcome. I just heard a strum. Yeah, somebody.
Yes, ma'am. I have.
कहाँ है भाई? मुझे दिखाओ. किधर है? किधर है? Who is the gentleman? Okay, this is Neha Garg Saha. Okay, we'll do something after this. Let me finish this devotional song. Achyutam Keshavam Ram Narayanam Krishna Damodaram Vasudevam Bhaje Sridharam Madhavam Gopika Vallabham Janaki Nayakam Ramachandram Bhaje. Pamagamaga Girigamaga. कौन कहते हैं भगवान नाचते नहीं. कौन कहते हैं भगवान नाचते नहीं. गोपियों की तरह तुम नचाते नहीं. अच्युतम केशवम राम नारायणम कृष्ण दामोदरम Vasudevam Bhaje. Yes, please.
Thank you so
Most
much.
welcome. So does Neha Garg want me to sing something with him?
No, ma'am. I don't sing.
You
I
don't
play
sing?
guitar.
So what do you
No,
want
ma'am.
me to sing on that guitar?
Actually, I'm not prepared now.
You are not prepared. I'm also not prepared. तो okay, let's sing चुरा लिया.
Okay, ma'am.
वो तो आते ही होगा.
Ma'am, you sing. I will play.
Okay. चुरा लिया है तुमने जो दिल को नजर नहीं चुराना सनम. चुरा लिया है तुमने जो दिल को नजर नहीं चुराना सनम. बदल के मेरी तुम जिंदगानी कहीं बदलना जाना सनम. ले लिया फिर इतना वादा करते जाओ. चुरा लिया है तुमने जो हमको नजर नहीं चुराना सनम. बदल के मेरी तुम जिंदगानी कहीं बदलना जाना सनम. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. You also.
Welcome.
It's a great moment for me, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure. Next time, Dr. Nagarajan has to arrange for me to have a, what do you call, a jam session beforehand planned.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, sure. Ma'am.
Okay. With you.
Ma'am, few questions are there in the chat box.
Yes, please. Do you want me to address them or they'll be read out to me?
I'll read out.
I can read it out, sir.
Okay.
Should I read it out, sir?
Yes, please.
Right. Deepak Prasad says, ma'am, I would be very thankful to you if you can share some ways to change, I guess these are bad habits, change some habits. Some
Okay.
tips to change bad habits.
1 second here. Yep. So I did make a very long statement about the steps that should be done to change the habit. And what did I say? I stressed on a stress diary, and I stressed on thought handling and trigger mechanism, and changing your reaction to response, and bringing in positive energy through exercise and doing things that you enjoy.
Thank you, ma'am. Now moving on to Sneharga Saha's question. Ma'am, when I get angry, I can't control my mind and I do something which I actually should not do. Is there any solution to controlling my mind when I get angry?
So I ditto the same answer to you, and I just explained to you the same thing, that what is, when I said there is a fright and flight response. What is flight? Flight is anger. And I explained you the same thing, that I have a choice to hit out at the person. I have a choice to make myself believe that this person did it unintentionally. Or I have the choice to decide that what I have been dealt with, even if intentional, is my choice to overlook it. The person is not worth my sweat and anger. Can't hear you, Preeti.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. The next question is by Devjyoti Sarkar. How do I deal with anxiety?
I have already explained, my dear. This whole 1 hour that you listened to me was the same.
All right. And Zeenat Nehal asks, can you suggest us ways how to deal with procrastination?
Procrastination. I need to be, you need to share with me exactly what do you wish to know from me in this aspect. I understand that procrastination means that you are submitting yourself to somebody as in a submissive way, and you are accepting whatever the other person is saying, right?
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Zeenat Nehal speaking.
Yeah, welcome.
Ma'am, my question regarding procrastination is about work, like how we push our work for tomorrow. It's not that I procrastinate a lot, but I ultimately get the work done. But due to lack of time, it's not my 100% effort. That is why the reason I cannot stop procrastinating is I procrastinate and still get my work done. But that's like not 100% output, right?
So there are two ways, my dear Zina. There's one
Yes,
way.
ma'am.
You're mixing up everything. The first thing
Yes,
is you need to make a to-do list.
yes, ma'am.
When you make a to-do list, whichever way you make a to-do list, then you do prioritization.
Yes, ma'am.
If it is your habit to first do everything around and then come to the main thing,
Yes, ma'am.
and by the time you're bereft of energy and you're short on time, then the main thing that you do, you will manage to do because you push it, and at least you have the quality to push it, but it cannot be ideal.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
you have to ask yourself why you didn't do this task before. Was it because that you would have spent so much time in doing this task that you would have not done the rest? And
Yes,
that by
ma'am.
doing all the knickknacks around, it gratifies you.
Yes, ma'am.
And therefore you did everything around.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
if supposing you had an exam and there was a 10-marker question and the rest were all 1 or 2-marker questions, okay?
Yes,
There
ma'am.
were 100 1-marker questions, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And there was 150-marker question.
Yes, ma'am.
Which one would you do first? 50-marker or 101 markers?
Ma'am, the 100 mark, because it's more
You
scoring.
answered your question. You like doing all the knickknacks around.
Yes, ma'am.
You understood? If you do that
Yes, ma'am.
50, you have solved one important thing, which you could
Yes,
have
ma'am.
given a third of your time
Yes,
with
ma'am.
quality. First,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
will
I
answer
do.
100 and then you say, I didn't have time for a 50-marker question.
Yes, ma'am.
You answered your answer yourself. That is what you do. You do all peripherals first and then you don't get to the main point.
Yes, ma'am.
Either you are scared in your own mind of delivering to your own self, your own performance. Because
Yes, ma'am. I
knickknacks
agree.
on which you are not assessed means if I am busy and I have this show to go, 5 minutes before I'm getting ready, I am also keeping my clothes properly. I am rearranging my things properly. I know I have a show.
Yes,
Instead
ma'am.
of reading about the material, right?
Okay, ma'am.
And then I
am.
say I underperformed in the show. Then you
Yes,
shouldn't
ma'am.
have done that. Nobody would have assessed you and known what all you have left behind. But if
Yes,
doing
ma'am.
knickknacks gives you a pleasure, then don't blame yourself that I didn't have time for this. Time is
Yes,
the
ma'am.
same idea. I do very much like what you do. I
Yes,
do all
ma'am.
knickknacks and don't get to the main thing.
Yes, ma'am.
So
That's what.
then there can be another problem. You have too much of other things to do. Multitude of other things.
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes you
I do
have to
only.
do so much work that you don't have time for that main work, because that main work is going to take away so much time that so many other pending things will happen. So you want to clear your mind from all those pending things. But if the pending task now is weighing so much upon you that you have to ask me this question, that means you know your answer yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
First
I
do
do.
the important thing, then do all the rest of the next important thing. They are not
Yes, ma'am.
unimportant things. But supposing tomorrow is your exam and you don't
Yes.
study for the exam and you start doing things like fitness because after 1 month you have to run a race. Please study
Yes,
for the
ma'am.
exam, which is tomorrow first. Then you do
Yes,
the
ma'am.
rest. Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question is by Paulomi. She asks, how can I focus to fulfill my dreams?
Focus to fulfill your dreams. So there is something known as a 10-year goal, a 5-year goal, a 1-year goal, a 6-month goal, and a 1-month goal, and a 1-week goal, and a next day goal. Sounds silly, right? And there's nothing to do with stress management. It's about envisioning your targets. After 10 years, I want to come out as, say, a CEO of a fab petrochemical company. Okay, that's your 10-year plan. 5
Yes,
years.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Is
I'm
that your
following.
plan?
Yes, ma'am. I guess at first my plan is study well, then fulfill my parents' dream and also my dream also.
Wrong. Your thoughts may be right, but what you're not understanding is what I'm saying. You have to first decide what you want to be 10 years later. Then you decide what should you be doing for you to reach halfway through. Not studying hard is what you have to do today. You have to fulfill parents' dream is far away. You're messed up. You have to look at what you want to do 10 years later, then figure out what you want to do 5 years later, what you should do 5 years later, then figure out that, okay, to achieve this in 1 year, I need to achieve this. For this, in this 1 month, I need to finish this. And for me to finish this in 1 month, by tomorrow, I should have finished this. So what are you doing? And then it's not that 10 years later, I have to do this. You'll never relook at it. You will relook at it once a month every year. I mean, once a month, every time. You will relook at how much have I done in this 1 month? What I wanted to achieve in this 1 year, will I manage to do that? Do I need to change this policy a little bit? Is it a
Yes,
realistic
ma'am.
target? Has this become
Yes, ma'am.
obsolete? This is how you have to work on it. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question is by Adarsh Prasad. He says, ma'am, when I go to sleep and close my eyes, I feel insecure about my family, about my parents and family. I feel, what will I do if something happens? Ma'am, how can I overcome this?
You feel worried about your family, or you feel worried that in case they are not there, you will be feeling the loss and you would be alone. And do you feel this now in Corona times, or was this before as well? I have shot back the question to whosoever asked this question.
Adarsh, please respond.
Okay, we go ahead. Maybe the gentleman is not here, or it's too personal a question.
Preeti ma'am, any more question is there in the chat box?
One question, I guess. Radha Rani asks, ma'am, I don't like to share my feelings with anybody, neither my family members nor any friend. So I just note everything in my diary. Is that the right way to express what I feel?
Sorry?
Radha Rani asks that she doesn't like to share her feelings with anyone. So she just notes everything in her diary. She asks, is this the right way to express what I feel?
No, that's absolutely fine. For a lot of people, you don't have to. There are introverts, there are extroverts, there are private people, there are dramatic people. There are people who enjoy company, there are people who like to keep to themselves. If you have read Anne Frank's book, Diary, she says that I didn't find that the people around me were mature enough as much as my diary was, and that probably when I speak to people, I engage in conversations beyond a point which either don't fructify my presence or are time non-enriching. And so I feel that even if this book is a one-way page, at least this book will listen to me and I can vent out my thoughts. And that's how she started writing the diary. So diary writing, to pen down your thoughts, is called journal writing. And it is encouraged by psychologists. And if you read them, and if you know whatever you may be writing, you must at least write at the end of the day, what was the positive thing that happened today, and what is it that you're looking forward to tomorrow. At least that one thing is important, even if you're writing to yourself. Then you're being true to yourself. This is what I like today, and this is what I'm looking forward to. Because most of the time we're venting out our angst, our situation, our surroundings, because whoever will tell that, look, I don't like you, or what you did to me wasn't good enough, is because we don't want to engage into an altercation. We don't want to brush people. We don't want to hurt people. But when we say that, we write that down, we are releasing our emotions. But because most of the time diary writing may be a release of negative emotions, therefore at the end of the day, please do write down what was the positive thing. And what is it that is so positive that you would like to wake up to tomorrow? Don't you think so, my dear?
Yes, ma'am.
So, you know, there is in the chat box, some of your student has actually asked me to sing a song. Should I?
Please.
Yes, ma'am, please.
आँखों में तेरी अजब सी अदाएं हैं, आँखों में तेरी अजब सी अदाएं हैं, दिल को बनाने जो पतंग सांसें तेरी वो हवाएं हैं. That's it. तेरे साथ साथ. Where is the singer who asked me to sing this song? आँखों में तेरी अजब सी अदाएं हैं, दिल को बना दे जो पतंग, सांसें ये तेरी वो अदाएं हैं. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The rest of the chat box is filled with compliments for you.
Thank you.
It was an absolute honor to be a part of your session, Dr. Puja Dewan. To call you a multifaceted personality would, I think, be an understatement, because I would not just call your session an insightful and a comprehensive one, but I would also call it a mesmerizing one. Thank you for enthralling us, and also talking to us about stress management, and at the same time acting like a stress buster for us all. Thank you so much.
I wore red, bright for you people.
Yes,
Red. I wore red, bright.
Yes.
Don't take it as danger sign. I have a red lipstick, which is meant to be a sign and symbol of happiness and a rose and love and affection for you all. Time bright. I can see nobody is as bright as me around.
Exactly, ma'am. That's the reason why I called you a stress buster. You were a stress buster for us all, not just the students, but for all the faculty members and the staff as well. Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're most welcome, and I request you all that whosoever wishes to connect with me can connect with me on my Facebook handle, which I have mentioned in the chat box. Facebook / Dr. Puja Dewan. I have a YouTube channel, Facebook / Dr. Puja Dewan. I have a telemedicine handle on which I entertain WhatsApp messages, and there can be a consultation in case you wish to have that. And this number is, I will just type it in the box. The number is 99999. That's 5 times 9, 36009. In case you are seeking any consultation. I do online telemedicine, and that's how it is.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'm sure many of us, all of us, would like to be connected with you. And now I'd like to request Dr. Joydeep Ghosh.
Preeti, before going on to a word of thanks, I want all the faculty members and students to switch on your video so that we can capture the moments. Group photo. Quickly switch on your video, all the faculty and students. With smiling face. Thank you so much.
Now I would like Dr. Joydeep Ghosh, DI of Maths Department, to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, sir.
Hello. Hello, good afternoon, Principal Sir. Hello, good afternoon, Principal Sir. You're getting me?
Yeah.
Good afternoon. So, good afternoon, Principal Sir. Good afternoon, Dr. Dewan. And good afternoon, Director Madam and Principal Chairman Sir. So, this is a very good session that conducted by Dr. Puja Dewan. And she gives us some idea how to release stress and how to lead life in a normal way. But what I feel about this session is that feeling of emotion or physical tension, it can come from any event, or thought that makes you frustrated, angry. Stress is a body reaction that challenges our body. But when I saw Dr. Puja Dewan, I feel that my feeling is that stress does not come by the amount of load carry. It comes by the way we carry it. Since Dr. Dewan, she is handling a position in Max International, but she is really happy the way she is leading her life. She makes her happy. So it's really a learning lesson from us. And the way of lifestyle we maintain in our day-to-day life, that's really a matter. How to reduce or prevent and deal with the stress, coping with the stress seems a bit difficult. Time will not stop and hours of delighting will not increase. Career, family, responsibility will also continue. But we should know how to control our mind. In fact, believing that we can our life, that is the foundation of stress management, what I feel and what I understand from Puja Dewan's talk. But what I want to say about her talk and the gist of her talk is that we should keep our, and how we can keep ourselves happy. She has given us some ideas that we should do something good for us. We should do something good for the society, and we should maintain a proper decorum. We should maintain, and I really want to thank Ms. Puja Dewan for her singing habits, the way she thinks that life should go on, and this is really encouraging for us. And last but not least, when we are working in a private organization, I like to tell all my colleagues and even my students that keep yourself happy. How you will keep yourself happy is up to you. But all I can say that always you should maintain a proper relationship with your junior, with your senior, and don't indulge yourself in the nonsense activities of day-to-day life. And when I feel that the stress is a very tough matter to handle, but this types of webinar and this types of session really helps us a lot. And thank you, Dr. Puja Dewan, for your speech, for your advice that how should we maintain our lives. Thank you, Principal Sir, thank you, Sir, and thank you, Director Madam.